Hello, Amora. Let the World Cup trophy appear. Who is going to cast the perfect spell on American soil to lift the gold? Look, I do not have a crystal ball, so you and I are going to break down the heavy hitters instead. But let us do it a bit differently this time. We will analyze the tactics while poking fun at the bizarre superstitions and conspiracy theories that players and fans actually swear by. Let us start with Lionel Messi and his own chamber of secrets. Back in the day, Sergio Aguero famously shared a room and even a bed with Messi on international duty. Since the Manchester City legend retired, Messi has insisted on sleeping alone. But the tinfoil hat crowd is obsessed with the room numbers. 4 years ago, Messi stayed in room 2011, and because 2 plus 0 plus 1 equals 3, Argentina magically went on to win their third World Cup. Obviously, the Ballon d'Or winner is too busy to debunk this on the internet. But for the upcoming tournament, Messi reportedly chose room 202, and 2 plus 0 plus 2 equals 4. I think you see where the crazy fans are going with this. Speaking of the Inter Miami star, congratulations to Messi on winning the prestigious Princess of Asturias award for his massive contributions to sports. Here is a stunning photo of the real Princess of Asturias for you. Of course, becoming a world champion is not as easy as waving a magic wand. There are legendary footballing families who have spent generations trying to get their hands on that elusive gold trophy, failing from father to son. Take the legendary Diego Simeone. In his playing days, he went to 3 World Cups, but his tactical masterclasses only got him as far as the quarterfinals. Now the family pressure falls squarely on his son, Giuliano Simeone, to bring home the glory. It is a similar story for young Nico Paz. His father, Pablo Paz, shared the pitch with Diego Simeone back in the day, leaving fans with plenty of what-if memories. But here is the actual on-pitch reality. The reigning champions are on a massive 5-game winning streak in friendlies. That number might even be 6 or 7 by the time you watch this video. The Albiceleste are in a golden 5-year cycle, pulling in 4 major trophies, including a World Cup, 2 Copa Americas, and a Finalissima. Beyond the extraterrestrial Messi, this squad features the ferocious Lisandro Martinez, midfield orchestrator Enzo Fernandez, and the ultimate psychological warfare weapon in goal, Dibu Martinez. Armed with a perfect 100% win rate in major finals, the Aston Villa goalkeeper recently made a wild promise, claiming that if Argentina successfully defends their crown, he will retire on the spot. By the way, quick fact check before we went to print. Argentina is officially back at the top of the FIFA rankings. You cannot argue with the numbers. But let us look at another hilarious superstition. 10 years ago, Manchester City parted ways with their manager, and Portugal won Euro 2016. Now, exactly 10 years later, the blue half of Manchester is once again saying goodbye to their head coach. Does that mean Portugal is destined to lift the trophy in 2026? It is just another internet theory engineered to keep the CR7 hype train rolling. But if you want some official, supernatural backing, astrologer Michael Bruno boldly declared the Seleção will win their first ever World Cup. To be fair, this self-proclaimed wizard did correctly predict the champions in 2010, 2014, and 2018. However, in 2022, his cosmic radar failed him when he picked France to defend their crown, only for Les Bleus to finish as runners-up. We will give him a 9.5 out of 10 for credibility, but obviously, Portugal cannot win a World Cup on cheap horoscopes and prophecies alone. If you analyze the actual tactics and roster depth, Portugal's players are absolute trophy-collecting machines. Cristiano Ronaldo and João Felix have been dominating the Saudi Pro League with Al Nassr. In France, the quartet of Nuno Mendes, Vitinha, João Neves, and Goncalo Ramos made PSG untouchable in League One. Over in Spain, João Cancelo found his spark again with Barcelona. Over in England, Bernardo Silva and Ruben Dias bagged a domestic double before saying goodbye to Pep Guardiola. And you certainly cannot ignore the genius of Bruno Fernandes, who just shattered the Premier League's single-season assist record. With a roster this stacked and Roberto Martinez entering his 3rd World Cup campaign, Portugal is tactically primed to write a brand new chapter. For Cristiano Ronaldo, this is the final dance to complete his legendary trophy room. If he falls short, he will not have the luxury of time for a massive rebuild like the Germans are attempting. Let us picture a more romantic scenario, though. One where he glides across the pitch with the raw energy of a 20-year-old. The burden of rebuilding the German Empire and clinching a fifth star now rests on the shoulders of young tactician Julian Nagelsmann. Since their peak 12 years ago, the German machine has completely broken down on the big stage, even getting sent home by South Korea in the group phase. But the bitterest pill was the deep locker room division caused by a veteran's explosive statement. I still remember Mesut Ozil's painful quote, "When we win, I am German, but when we lose, I am an immigrant." The nightmare dragged on into 2022 when Japan sent them packing early. The absolute low point was Antonio Rudiger's bizarre high knees run, mocking the opposition.
Looking at the wreckage, Nagelsmann knew he had to purge the squad and start completely from scratch. The 38-year-old manager's original plan was to bring an entirely new generation to North America, completely phasing out the old guard who lifted the trophy 12 years ago. However, after realizing his young prospects were too fragile under tactical pressure, Nagelsmann was forced to knock on the door of legendary keeper Manuel Neuer to return and anchor the goal. Up front, Kai Havertz joined an elite club with Cristiano Ronaldo and Mario Mandzukic as one of the few players to score in Champions League finals for two different teams. Yet the tactical spine of this German team still relies heavily on Bayern Munich. Aside from Neuer, the Bavarian Giants provide 6 key players, including Jonathan Tah, Pavlovic, Joshua Kimmich, Leon Goretzka, Jamal Musiala, and teenage prodigy Leonard Karl. Make sure to remember that 18-year-old's name. Standing at just 5 feet 6 inches, he has the kind of low center of gravity and dazzling footwork that draws comparisons to Lionel Messi. Meanwhile, we also cannot forget Florian Wirtz. After a wild season at Liverpool, the 23-year-old midfielder is hungry to prove himself on the global stage. Germany's biggest tactical advantage this year is zero pressure. Simply getting past the group stage means they have improved compared to the last 2 World Cups. But do not sleep on them. Once this German engine gets rolling, they will flatten anything in their way. If you doubt their power, go ask the dancing bleach blonde Brazil squad what happened the last time they met. While Neymar's circus dominates the headlines, today you and I need to focus on a completely different storyline: sheer heartbreak. After missing a crucial penalty in the Champions League final, Gabriel was left frozen on the pitch, paralyzed by the weight of defeat. While the rest of the PSG squad sprinted toward the stands to celebrate their title, Captain Marquinhos quietly stayed behind to comfort his younger countrymen. The veteran defender knows that devastating national scapegoat feeling better than anyone. 4 years ago, it was Marquinhos who missed the decisive shootout penalty, sending Brazil packing in a brutal quarterfinal exit against Croatia.
His wife later revealed that Marquinhos locked himself in a dark room under the covers, texting her that his career was over and he was the ultimate embarrassment to Brazil. Behind the flashing lights and samba celebrations, there is a brutal psychological toll when a nation of over 200 million expects nothing less than perfection. Fans still fantasize about the romantic days of Joga Bonito, but the harsh reality is that Brazil is completely top-heavy. They have endless strikers, but zero tactical creativity in midfield. Casemiro, Fabinho, and Bruno Guimaraes are muscle-bound destroyers, while Lucas Paqueta's Premier League form is too inconsistent. So, what do you and I think? Will tactical genius or bizarre superstition win the day in 2026?
So, you and I should brace ourselves for a much more pragmatic, gritty Brazil in this upcoming campaign. As for Neymar, his fading fitness means a starting spot is out of the question. The Seleção's all-time top scorer will now have to settle for being a glorified dressing room mascot, ready to sub in and chase some magic only when they hit a tactical dead end. Brazil's biggest star right now is actually on the sidelines, manager Carlo Ancelotti. The Italian godfather's trophy-hunting pedigree in elite tournaments is unquestionable. So do not be surprised if this tactical mastermind conquers the world once again, using nothing but his legendary trademark eyebrow raise to shift the momentum on the pitch. To clear Brazil's path to glory, Ancelotti will have to tactically dissect Spain's golden boy. People love making ridiculous comparisons. Messi won 3 consecutive Ballon d'Ors, Ronaldo bagged 3 straight Champions League titles, and Lamine Yamal went through 3 girlfriends in 3 years. The wildest rumor involves his latest partner, with a fairy tale about her credit card getting declined at a local grocery store. I was so embarrassed, and suddenly this sweet guy offered to pay to save the day. That is how we fell in love. I had no clue he was Yamal. Sounds completely fabricated. At this rate, hanging around Barcelona's training ground might get you a date with Gavi or Pedri.
All gossip aside, the battle for Spain's starting 11 is so fierce that everyone must give 200%. Even in goal, David Raya, despite winning the Premier League's Golden Glove 3 years straight, is not guaranteed the starting spot.
Spain is facing a classic selection headache. Manager Luis de la Fuente actually debuted 8 newcomers in a friendly match against Iraq. The hilarious part? 7 of those guys packed their bags and went straight home right after, completely cut from the final World Cup roster. Not long ago, the 64-year-old manager shocked everyone by entirely snubbing Real Madrid stars from his World Cup squad. The most tragic case has to be Dean Huijsen. Born in Amsterdam to Dutch parents, he represented the Oranje at youth levels. Yet, when turning professional, the 6'5" center-back chose to pledge his allegiance to Spain, apparently believing the grass is greener in Madrid than in Amsterdam. Ironically, this summer, he and veteran Dani Carvajal are stuck watching the World Cup on television. Still, having guided Spain to European glory, the veteran manager does not care about public backlash. If you are a skeptic, just look at the EA Sports simulation, which confidently predicts Spain as the future champion. Because obviously, a video game engine is the ultimate authority on international football tactics. Unlike random internet fortune tellers, this gaming company utilizes a supercomputer to analyze deep team data. But here is a cold, hard tactical stat to ruin the mood. Spain has failed to win a single knockout match across the last 3 World Cups. To break this embarrassing curse, the stars of La Roja apparently need some heavy emotional support and positive vibes from their fans back home. Despite slightly awkward political relations between Spain and the US, a massive wave of Spanish fans is heading stateside to support their squad. At the airport, they might bump into the French faithful, who are already stressing over their own team's drama. Speaking of France, let us shift our tactical lens to Les Bleus, where rumors are swirling about a quiet civil war between Kylian Mbappe and N'Golo Kanté. Mbappe was recently slammed for blocking the French president in a team photo, and then stormed out of training over image rights disputes with the federation. Fortunately, Rayan Cherki kept the locker room from imploding with his ridiculous penguin pose. Meanwhile, Man City's expensive forward made headlines of his own, scoring against Ivory Coast and delivering a delightfully arrogant warning to the rest of the world. "We are here to crush everyone." To be fair, this 22-year-old star is not just talking big. According to Transfermarkt, France has the most expensive roster at the 2026 World Cup, worth double that of defending champions Argentina. But if you prefer relying on boardroom predictions instead of actual on-pitch reality, I have got some numbers for you right here. A Reuters poll of 160 global economists gives France a 35% chance of winning, slightly ahead of Spain at 31%. Honestly, I have absolutely no idea how these suits in fancy offices predict football tactics, but it sounds impressive on paper. What is far more fascinating is Mbappe's lingering mental block, as he admitted he still does not have the courage to rewatch that dramatic 2022 final. While critics love to joke about his dictatorial control over the squad, nobody can deny the Ninja Turtles' immense tactical impact in driving France to back-to-back finals. If they repeat that run on American soil, Mbappe will officially tie the legendary Cafu for the most World Cup final appearances in football history. Let us not forget France has a dream attack featuring Dembele, Olise, Mbappe, Cherki, Barcola, and young star Desiree Doué. The new PSG signing is constantly being compared to Barcelona's Lamine Yamal. A French championship would instantly elevate Doué to superstar status. Their only real tactical vulnerability is in defense, especially when center-back Ibrahima Konate decides to put on an absolute disaster class, like he did against Ivory Coast. Beyond Mbappe, we cannot ignore the reigning Ballon d'Or winner, Ousmane Dembele. If he can break the infamous Ballon d'Or curse and lift the trophy, the PSG superstar basically locks up his next individual award. But if you prefer gossip and high drama over tactical analysis, join me at the England camp, where the weather is so insanely hot that everyone is ready to strip down. Maybe it is because manager Thomas Tuchel ruthlessly dropped 8 major stars from his final squad, but the England camp is surprisingly quiet this year. The biggest headline surrounding the 3 Lions right now is actually just the weather, with these pampered British players crying about the humid, oppressive Florida heat. To make matters worse, the squad got a massive scare when a shooting occurred right outside their training headquarters. Honestly, the English Football Association should have sent Harry Kane and company to train in Vietnam. It is incredibly safe and has the perfect scorching heat to prepare them. Instead, Tuchel decided to win over his players by letting their wives and girlfriends tag along for moral support.
By the way, congrats to Declan Rice on becoming the new vice-captain. Let us just hope the Arsenal midfielder does not repeat his infamous meme face on the pitch. If the tactics fail, Rice can always consult tarot cards. Rumor has it that since Tuchel is a Virgo, mid-June is his golden cosmic window, making the Three Lions mathematically unstoppable. But the moment we hit late June and Mercury goes into retrograde, the bad luck apparently triggers.
A local psychic confidently predicted that England will receive 2 red cards this tournament, one for a young star and one for a veteran. Despite this cosmic doom, English officials remain hilariously optimistic. The Sun reported that Federation executives have already mapped out a victory parade route around London. Around £500,000 has been approved for a massive celebration if they win. And if this multi-million-dollar squad bottles it again, no worries, they can just go home and watch their own Netflix documentaries. But hey, that was the Southgate era, a time of a cheerful Saka, a clueless Jack Grealish, and an extraterrestrial Cole Palmer. Getting back to serious tactics, Harry Kane's 51 goals for Bayern Munich last season make him a massive favorite for the Ballon d'Or. If he can guide England to world domination, the former Tottenham striker will basically secure the award. That is the exact legendary feat Luka Modric pulled off back in 2018, and his Croatia team is the final candidate on our list today. A recent tactical link-up between Ivan Perisic and Luka Modric to defeat Slovenia proves these two veterans are still carrying the checkered nation on their aging backs. Given their impressive run as runners-up in 2018 and third place in 2022, putting Croatia among the top contenders makes perfect tactical sense, even if they have never actually held the trophy. So if they somehow manage to win it all here in North America, it would be a genuine, real-life sporting fairy tale. While they do not have the squad depth of other football giants, Croatia still boasts elite individual talent. Penalty-saving specialist Livakovic, defensive powerhouse Josko Gvardiol, who is chased by Europe's best, trophy-collecting machine Mateo Kovacic, and of course, the ageless tactical mastermind Luka Modric. Even if no supercomputer or cosmic force is predicting them to win, Croatia remains a fascinating team to watch at this tournament. Those are my top 8 contenders to take home the World Cup trophy this summer. Thanks for hanging out with me today. Let me know who you are betting on in the comments, and I will see you guys in the next video.